Hi friends. All right, so I always like to base my YouTube videos on real life situations. So today I did an open house. I have a current listing, 9734 Sable Canyon Drive in Richmond, Texas. um it's a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, corner lot, asking 362, but bring your offers. Okay, besides that, at my open house today, I was listening as um, as people came through to see the home. Some came with their agent, some came without. And so the ones that came with their agent, m- listen, my head almost exploded. The ones that came with their agent, they were making comments, and I'm just working. I'm on my laptop working, letting them do their thing. I don't follow people around or nothing like that. I make myself available for questions after they walk through. But I mean, I'm sitting there, I can hear conversations. um, and some of the comments that I was hearing was, oh, this is way too small. The bedroom is the master bedroom is way too small. The kitchen, the fan isn't adequate. The backyard is too small. The stuff I was hearing was just um, reasons why you shouldn't have scheduled the showing. My listing is very detailed. I have professional photos, so the photos are an excellent representation of what the house actually looks like. All the facts of the home are in the listing: the square footage, the bedroom dimensions, everything, the lot size, everything. So I really feel for these agents that are going out showing homes and nothing is hit. Nothing is None of them are what these buyers are looking for. Um, that could be for a couple different reasons. It could be because the agent didn't do a thorough buyer's consultation, or they're not um, taking the time to look through these listings before they send them to the buyer. If your buyer gave you their criteria, their must-haves, then for me, I go through each listing to make sure I see all of it, or at least most of what they were looking for. Nobody's ever going to find a 100% perfect house, but if you can find most of what you're looking for, then you're good. But some agents don't do that. They just put in the zip code, put in the price, put in the number of bedrooms, and send you 200 listings. That's not gonna work. It's gonna take you forever to find a house doing that. So I literally ask very detailed questions during my buyer's consultations. So when I run my search, um, it's not a huge list that the buyer has to go through, which probably over half of them won't even match their criteria. So agents, I encourage you to take your time and go through these listings. I'd rather spend more time sitting at my desk on my computer doing work than spending time out driving around the city showing houses that the buyer is not interested in. So I do a lot of my work on the front end, and I don't ever even have to show many homes. I don't think I've ever shown maybe more than 6 houses, and even that's pushing it. And it's because I listen to what my buyers are looking for, and I take my time to search for exactly that. When you just want to rush and start showing homes right away, it's going to take you a long time to find a house that buyer really likes. And then, because if you send them listings that are so long, 100 or 200 houses, for them to look through, they're going to get bored with looking through listings. So take your time and do most of your searching on the front end from the comfort of your desk or your bed, wherever you work at, so that you're not, wasting so much time and gas. Nobody likes missing their kids, sports games and all of that, or dinner with the family, because you're spending so much time in the streets showing houses. So have those conversations. Next thing is square footage. Start paying attention to the size of homes when you walk them. Get to know what a 400 square foot, 1,400 square foot house feels like. Get to know what a 2,000, 2,700, 3,000, 3,500. Get to know what these numbers mean, what they feel like. So when you see, if you know you have, 4 kids and you need, 4 or 5 bedrooms, you shouldn't be looking at a 1,400 square foot house. Get to know what these square footages feel like. Pay attention to that on the listings. Now, you should have this conversation with your agent, and they should be sending you the right square footage, because we can filter out. We can base your search just on a range of, square feet. They don't have to send you every single house that's a 4 bedroom or 5 bedroom. We can narrow your search down by square footage. So get to know, maybe the first time, if you don't know what it feels like, walk a 1,400 square foot house so you can feel it. Pay attention and remember that 1,400 is too small for us. Go up a few, a few sizes. And just pay attention to that, because I had one person that walked in and the house is 1,900, a little bit over 1,900 square feet, but she needed 3,000 square feet. Why are you here? I don't know if that was not communicated between her and her agent, or I don't know, but it sounds like this wasn't her first house that she's walked, because from their conversation, they've seen quite a few already. So the agent should know by now what size he should have been showing her. But yeah, this one person said that house was just way too small for her. And like I said, now if this was the first house they had seen, then I would understand. But they've already been out searching. So why would you be looking at a 1,900 square foot house? All the rooms are too small for her. Well, because it's a smaller home. You're not looking for a smaller home. You need a much larger home. So just things like that. Another thing to get to know is lot size. That's important, because that's gonna help you determine how big the yard is. Because what you do is you take that number. If a lot size is 6,000 square feet and the house is 2,000 square feet, that lets you know that out of 6,000 square feet, the house is taking up 2,000 of that. That leaves me with 4,000 square feet left of just yard. Now that's divided between the front yard and the backyard. So it doesn't mean that your whole backyard is 4,000 square feet. No, that 4,000 includes your front and your backyard. So you gotta understand that's not gonna be a huge yard. So get to know about square footages and sizes. That's gonna help you save so much time when you pay attention to that stuff. If you try to remember, you have to make a conscious effort to remember what a 6,000 square foot lot feels like versus what a 10,000 square foot lot feels like. Another thing to know about lots is, even though it's a huge lot, it could be 10,000 square foot. That's a huge lot. That's pretty big. Doesn't mean that it's gonna have a huge backyard. Some lots give you more side yard, which some people don't like, because they like everything to be in the back of the house. Some lots will give you a huge front yard, which I don't know, to each his own. We don't do much activity in the front yard, so I mean, the only thing a front yard gives you is a longer driveway. That's the advantage. But other than that, I personally would prefer to have a larger backyard. That's where all the activity happens. So that's something to pay attention to. Look at the shape of the lot on the survey, or the plot. Other things, like another comment the lady made was the stove, or not the stove, but she needed a hooded range in the kitchen. You get a hooded range when you have like a built-in cooktop, but you don't have a microwave, built in right above it. It's very common to have your stove and then your microwave built in right above it. But when you get into like the more expensive homes, they'll have not a microwave above the stove. They'll have like the hooded range. That's what she was looking for. This house ain't have that. This isn't a luxury home. It's a standard, family home. But that is something that she would have seen in the listing photos. Why are you here? If that was something that you absolutely needed. Now, if it was something that was just, oh, I don't need it, I would just like to have it, then sure, come and see the house, because everything else could be, great about the house. It's just missing that hooded range, and you may still love the house. But if that's something that you absolutely need and won't sacrifice, why are you here? They're very good photos of the kitchen in the listing. So just things like that, it's important to pay attention to for both buyers and agents. Agents, I'm telling you, it's once I learned to listen to my buyers and I started taking notes during our consultations, I knew what questions to ask during our consultations. It takes me no time to find homes for my buyers that meets their criteria. One, because I do all that, I listen to them and I take notes. Two, because I know my market. I sell a lot of new construction, so I visit these new communities. I get to know, what they offer. That way, when I get a client, I already know where to take them. That's another conversation, but you will save so much time if you have the right conversations. Buyers with your agents, agents with your buyers. Talk. Have conversations. It's gonna save you a lot more time, and you'll get in your home a lot quicker. But those are just some tips that I have. Pay attention to the listings. Look through all the photos. Look for those things that are important to you. Read the details. Schools, if there's a specific school that you want to be zoned to, that's also in the listing. So you shouldn't get to a house, you shouldn't have your agent schedule a showing, you get to the house and then realize this is not the right school. That shouldn't happen, because the school is in the listing. So that becomes a waste of time. My dogs. That becomes a waste of time. So be sure to look through. Even if you tell your agent should be looking for these things for you, you double check for yourself as well. Agents aren't perfect. We don't do everything right. We don't get it right every single time. So they may, look over something that's important to you. So that's why it's important that you review the information yourself as well. It's going to save you time. It takes less than 5 minutes to read through a listing, but it can take an hour for you to get to the wrong house, to a house that doesn't meet your criteria, especially here in Houston with all this driving. Everything is so far away. The traffic. Why go through all that to get to a house? To get to a house that's nothing like what you wanted. It just kills me when people get to a house. Oh, I didn't know this was single story. I wanted a 2-story. You can't see that in the pictures. Oh, I didn't know this was 2-story. I wanted a single story. Things like that you can see in the pictures. You can see them. So pay attention to these listings. That's another thing that your agent can do. We have so many different filters that we can apply when we're running searches for you. So get as specific as you like with your agent. They can filter out all of single story homes if you only want 2-story. They can single out 2-story if you only want single story. So so just pay attention. Do a lot of the work from home. It's too hot to be out here looking at houses that's not what you want. So that's just my word of advice for today. Like I said, I always make these videos based off real life situations. The last one that I made about what to expect from your realtor if you're renting or buying was from real life experiences. So that's all I share, because I like to speak from experience. So I hope this information helps somebody. I hope it helps you on your home buying journey, and I hope you apply this, put this to exercise, so that you can see how much time it really saves you by doing a lot of the work on the front end, a lot of the footwork on the front end. That's all I got for today, and see y'all on the next one.